Could you comment a bit to people in this room who are investing perhaps in the most important capital of all, their human capital, about the role of human capital and the role of education in your life, and maybe close it out with a few comments about its enduring character, which you talked a bit about beforehand, but I thought it was so valuable, we will be remiss in not mentioning it.
Well, look, when I was a kid growing up in Queens, New York, I didn't know school was important. I didn't work hard. My mother came back from every parent-teacher conference and said, your teachers all say you're an underachiever. And I didn't know what that meant or why that was a problem. And then, but I somehow or other, I decided I want to go to Wharton. I went to the guidance counselor. She said, you'll never get in. But I happened to be taking accounting. The accounting teacher was the manager of the tennis team. He put me, kept me. I carried the balls around. He liked me, and he wrote a letter. And somehow or other, I got into Wharton, and that changed my life. And my high school had 1,284 kids in each class, and because of the numbers, you were limited to 4 college applications. And so I used one for Wharton. And then everybody saved one for the free city college, Queens College. That left 2, so I applied to an abject safety school and then a middle-level state university. If I hadn't gotten into Wharton, I would have gone to State University, and who knows what would have happened then. By the way, I wrote a memo back in January of 14 called Getting Lucky, not in the campus sense, and in which I say that I think I've been very lucky in my life, and I talk about some ways in which I've been lucky. And I think if you've been lucky, the greatest thing is to recognize it and celebrate it. And the people who've been lucky and don't admit it are really a pain in the ass. But so the point is, I came here and I got a starter education. Wharton in those days was pragmatic and practical and qualitative and real-worldy. And then I went to Chicago, which was theoretical and quantitative and a very good complement. And the combination of those 2 things, especially to be in one of the first classes at Chicago that was taught, the new Chicago School of Theory, was a great start to a fortuitous career, you know? And so I think that, I hesitate to think where I would be today without Wharton and without my education in general, and it's a great thing, and I hope you're all appreciative, and I hope you go out and make the most of it. And as the development office says, and don't forget to give back. Linda Kronfeld, sitting in the front row, she grabbed me 27 years ago and started shaking me. And it's worked for both of us since then. The great thing about investing, as I said, it's going to be harder to make money in the investing business going forward than it has been in the last 35 years, and it should be. But it can still be very rewarding because investing is intellectually challenging. It's always different. There is no process, in my opinion, that always works, and which means you have to be adaptive and flexible, and you have to see things as they really are, and it's extremely stimulating. And if you try it and you like it, if it's for you, I think it's a great field, and I would still urge you to do it if it's right for you. It's not right for everybody. You know, there are fields. By the way, there's a book called Fooled by Randomness. Who's read that? Okay, that's a pretty good ratio, 10%. But it's a good book. And Taleb, the author, Nassim Nicholas Taleb, who wrote the Black Swan, always talks about the difference between being an investor and being a dentist. And he says that in dentistry, there's no creativity and there's no randomness. You fill a tooth the same way every time and you get a good result. Investing, there's a lot of randomness, there's a lot of creativity required, and it can be super interesting. And I would say, that we have boring days, but we never have boring years. My friend Sandy in California used to describe his job as an airline pilot as hours of boredom punctuated by moments of terror. And that's kind of ours too, but I recommend it highly.